So the question is, should you quit your job? We'll explore that in a second. See you soon. Hey, this is Aaron Chen, and if this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, I'm always teaching you how to earn your first dollar on the internet. So consider subscribing to this channel if you'd like, and anytime if you want to learn my six-figure strategies on how I built up my internet marketing business, then you can just click the link below and check that out if you want, okay? But let's talk a little bit about whether you should quit your job or not, because that's exactly what I went through. I've been through this process, and I'll kind of talk you through it. I'll explain the pros and cons, okay? So I never wanted to quit my job. When I first grew up and I went through school and I graduated, all I wanted to do was work a full-time job, wear a suit to work, earn a good salary, maybe become a CEO of a company one day, right? What I didn't realize was after 5 years of doing that and actually doing pretty well in corporate, I was just getting burnt out. I realized that it was not something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I was working 12, 13-hour days, 6 to 7 days a week sometimes. Money was okay, but literally was selling my soul to this company, right? And so it was in 2009 that I decided that I needed to do something else, okay? And what I did was I had a bit of money saved up on the side, and what I did was I quit my job and I went into the online marketing industry back in 2009, and I tried to make it work, right? And what I didn't realize at the time is that, if you're going to start something on the side and you want to quit your job, you have to understand that whatever you decide to start, okay, whether it's an offline business or an online business, it's going to take a little bit of time. You're not going to be successful straight away, right? And you probably already know this, but 9 out of every 10 restaurants fail. Now, I wanted to start a restaurant. Thank God I didn't, because after doing a whole bunch of research, I just realized that industry, F&B, hospitality, restauranting, is one of the heaviest capital businesses that you can get into, and the chances that you'll succeed is very, very low. So instead, what I did was I started in network marketing, MLM, and then eventually I moved into online marketing, right? Because the world we live in today, it's all about technology, it's all about the internet, it's all about e-commerce and selling products, whether they're physical goods or digital goods, but it's all about leveraging the power of the internet. Okay, so what happened to me was 3 years after that, so 2009 to 2012, I ended up spending all of my savings. All the money that I saved up from corporate, I ended up blowing all that money and running out of money, basically. And yes, I had learned a lot of things, and I tried multiple different businesses within that 3-year period, but essentially I ran out of money and I had to go back into corporate because I couldn't feed myself, right? So for me, that was a huge learning lesson, okay? So if you're wondering, should you quit your job right now and try and start a business and do something that you love? Well, the answer is it really depends on you. For me, I think that it's very, very risky. Now that I look back on my life, yes, I did learn a lot in that period, and I blew through all of my savings, and in actual fact, I ended up going back into corporate for another 7 years, right? But I did learn a lot, and in hindsight, if I had to do this all over again, I probably wouldn't have quit my job, okay? And the reason that is because it's going to take you a while to succeed in business, right? And even though I was doing it full time, I was still trying to figure out a lot of stuff out, and I needed a little bit more time to make my business work. And then I ran out of money. I was desperate to make it work, so I was making lots of not very good decisions while I was trying to build my business in those 3 years. And ultimately, in the end, I didn't have a business that I could lean on, and I didn't have any more money, and I had to go back into the workforce, right? And so what happened was from 2012 to 2019, I was working, another full-time job, but what I did was every single night, I would come back home and I would get on the internet and I would, try and figure it out, try and build out my internet marketing business. And it took me another 7 years before I finally cracked the code, right? So from 2012 to 2019, that's how long it took me. I finally started having success from 2016 onwards, but it wasn't until a few years later, 3 years after that, April 2019, when I finally figured it out and had enough money, had enough confidence, was doing well enough for me to finally quit that full-time job and go full-time online. So now I've been marketing online full-time since April 2019, right? But the reality is that this takes a while, okay? In order for you to figure out how to create an additional side income that is going to replace what you make in your full-time job, sometimes it does take a while. Now, for me, it took a long time. You know, for me, from 2009 to 2019, that's 10 years, right? It might not take you that long. You know, it just took me that much time to figure it out, because unfortunately on the internet, there's a lot of bad information out there. Okay, so I literally had to buy hundreds and hundreds of courses. I had to figure out what business model works and what business model doesn't. And I had to make a lot of mistakes. So I failed tons and tons and tons and tons of time. And you know, from 2009 to 2019, in that time period, I wanted to quit more than 20 times. For me, I was just thinking, man, you know, I'm just blowing so much money trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. Maybe I should just give up this whole entrepreneur thing, and maybe I should just stay in my full-time job. You know, I had those thoughts running through my mind over and over and over again. I literally wanted to quit my business more than 20 times because, you know, I was doing okay in corporate. I was making okay money and stuff like that. But ultimately, my why was, you know, big enough for me to not want to stay in corporate, you know, and you know, I don't know what your why is, but it could be that maybe you don't want to work a full-time job. Maybe you want to be your own boss, you know, maybe you want to travel the world unhindered, right? Not have to only have, you know, 15 or 20 or 25 leave days that you can apply for in order for you to go traveling. Maybe you want to spend more time with your family. Maybe you're in a job where you're actually not making that much money. You're not doing that well, right? And you're just struggling. You know, you're just able to pay your bills, or maybe you're even struggling to pay your bills. So there's so many different reasons why you might be watching this video right now or doing some research on this topic. But what I can tell you is that the worst thing that you can do is to quit your full-time job and try and build a business on the side when, number one, you have no money at all, okay? Because you'll never ever get that. Understand that building a business on the side is real, but it's going to take you a lot longer than you think it will. Okay, so if you think that it's going to take you 1 month to become successful online, or 1 month to build a successful business, whether it's offline or online, then I'm really, really sorry, but it's going to take you a lot longer than that. For me, it took 10 years. Okay, now again, it might not take you 10 years, but it's certainly not going to take you 1 month. All right, it will at least take you 6 months to 24 to 36 months at least. Give yourself that time, all right? And so unless you've got a lot of money saved up in the bank, I would say you should probably stay in your job for now, suck it up, okay? Maybe even quit this job and get another job that you might like a little bit more. Maybe you're really, really hating your boss, or you're really, really hating the current job that you have. Maybe quit this job, get another job. Make sure you have an income so that you can keep a roof over your head, so that you can feed yourself 3 times a day, you know, so that you can pay your rent, your mortgage, so that you can look after your kids for now. And then what I would recommend is building a business on the side. Now, there are a lot of different businesses that you can build, and I've looked into a lot of different things. Starting a franchise, starting a restaurant, starting a management consultancy firm, going online, doing an MLM, network marketing style business. There were a lot of different things that I looked at. But the one thing that I think that, look, if you're here right now and you're watching this video, that you should consider leveraging is consider leveraging an internet business, right? There's so many reasons why an internet business just trumps all other businesses out there. Number one, the cost of starting an internet business is much, much lower than starting any other business. You don't necessarily have to hire any employees. You can just hire yourself. You don't have to pay anybody else's salary. You can do this from home, right? The only thing that you really need is a computer and an internet connection. You don't even need an office. This is my home office right now where I work full time, right? And still, up to this day, I don't have any employees. Okay, I tripled my old corporate income. I work 100% from home, and all I really need is a computer and an internet connection, and maybe a camera if that's what you want to do. But you don't even really need that, depending on how you decide to build your business out, right? So again, lots of pros to starting an internet business. You can sell to everyone in the world. You don't have to just build a business that's located in your little city or little town or little village. You can build your business from anywhere in the world, and you can sell products and services globally. I live in Malaysia, but my business is essentially in the West. I sell to people all over the US, all over Canada, all over the UK, all over Australia, just any English-speaking country that is interested in doing what I do, this is my audience, this is my market base, right? Another beautiful thing about the internet is you can create something that other businesses just cannot create, and that is leverage. Okay, whenever I upload a video, whenever I create a system or a software or whatever it is, right, I create something called leverage, which means that I don't necessarily have to be there all the time. I've set up my business in a way where whether I'm traveling, whether I'm sick, whether I'm spending time with my family, whether I'm sleeping, right, it doesn't matter, because I've got little pieces of my business all over the internet that works for me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, okay? And when you understand how to build this kind of business out, that is the kind of leverage that you can create for yourself as well, okay? So again, should you quit your job right now? You know, in my personal opinion, I don't think you should. I think that you need to have an income that continues to help you fund your life for now, okay? And then take a piece of that income, whether it's 20% or 30% or 40% if you can afford that, and take that money and reinvest that into your business, okay? Reinvest that into your skills. Learn how to build an online business. Learn how to market on the internet, okay? So take a portion of your salary, you know, suck it up for a little while. I know it sucks. I know that you probably hate your job, and I know that you want to, you know, get out of it and do something that you love to do, right? But unfortunately, you know, that's just the way life is. If you quit your job right now, how are you going to afford your lifestyle? How are you going to pay for your rent? How are you going to feed yourself? You know, unless you've got a lot of money in the bank, right? So be smart, be patient, okay? Don't quit your job. Maybe quit your job and, like I mentioned earlier, find another job that you like, but make sure you have a salary every single month, right? Then take a part of that salary and reinvest that into learning the skills that will change your life, okay? And the thing that, if I can recommend anything, internet marketing has the power to change your life. You can decide what you want to sell on the internet. There's so many different things that you can do. But when you learn how to market and sell products and services, nobody can take that skill set away from you. That is an asset that will pay you for the rest of your life. I hope that makes sense, okay? So listen, if you got some value from this video today, I would love to hear in the comments below. You know, give me some thumbs ups if you learned something in today's video, right? I'd like to know what what have you learned? What are some of the aha moments that you had in today's video? And if you're like, Aaron, that sounds really, really interesting. That makes sense. You know, I'm going to stay in my job for now, and I would like to learn that skill of learning how to become a great internet marketer, so I could, go out there and sell different types of products and services that I'm yet to figure out how to do, right? If that's you, but you're like, I want to learn how to market online. How do I do that? Okay, I would love to teach you how to do that. So all you need to do is click the link right below this video. You'll see a little link in the description box. It's going to lead you to my website. Go ahead and enter your best email address, and I'm going to send you a video that will show you step by step how to do this. How do you start to build out a business? How do you start to get into the frame of mind of marketing online? How do you pick great products? How do you drive audiences and eyeballs to whatever you're trying to sell, and how do you start this journey step by step? I'd love to teach you how to do that. My name is Aaron Chen. I hope this helped you today, and hopefully we'll speak in another video. Speak to you soon.